what factor affect that relation? How can we overcome those factors? That because you are saying that everything is all right, this is also built by the media, it's all propaganda. So what do you think that how we overcome these factors or these problems which are creating this space between the PAK US relations? What do you think, sir?
It's a great question, and I don't have a magic bullet. I don't know what the actual answer is to that, but I think part of it comes down to ignoring what's in the headlines. I mean, are these really the biggest problems that face Pakistan? Or is it feeding your family and clothing your children and getting a good education and making sure the power doesn't go out 20 times a day? I mean, isn't that something? I mean, a lot of this is distraction and misdirection from the real problems facing Pakistan. And my colleagues who work in USAID and some of the cultural folks, I mean, they're saving shrines, they're teaching kids English, they're teaching new moms through lady healthcare workers, they're looking at power generation through dams. I mean, that's what we're doing here. Those are the majority of our efforts, are things to help regular people in Pakistan. That gets ignored. And I think focusing on and working together on the real problems facing Pakistan. I mean, I think a lot of what we want to do is stabilize Pakistani's economy. And there's the point where sovereign debt has exceeded aid, and the only thing that is keeping, and in sovereign debt, the public economy is the largest part of Pakistan's economy, is remittances from people overseas. It's foreign workers sending back remittances. I mean, we want to encourage entrepreneurship and business development, and that's some of the things that we've been working at the consulate. Without that, without an economic stability, I think a political stability is very difficult to maintain.
My name is Mehtab. I'm a student of MBA. I want to ask regarding these issues, how can you motivate a Pakistani student to went to US? Continue to study further studies. How can motivate a U.S. consul to a Pakistani student, and how continue the MBA student like further PhDs, and you find a reliable here and a security life here. How will be afraid from U.S. to go U.S. and send attack people?
Sure. Don't be afraid of the United States. Okay, really, I know. Thousands of people, we issue tens of thousands of visas to go to the United States every year. People travel there and they're just fine. I grew up with Pakistani Americans. I knew lots of kids who in my school when I was going in middle school and high school who were Muslims, and at university as well. And there was never an issue. Like I don't, I think you hear that 1 in 1,000 case, and it gets blown out of proportion. But you don't hear about that other 999 people who thrive. And Pakistani Americans thrive in America. Has anyone here seen Glee? No. Okay. Basically, it's about a high school. It's American Bollywood. People are acting, and then all of a sudden, for no reason, they just burst into song and sing around. But the principal, one of the main characters, his name is Iqbal Teba. He is a Pakistani American, one of the most famous character actors. If you've seen Seinfeld, if you've seen Arrested Development, if you've seen Married with Children, Community, he's in everything. There's a new comedian now, Kumail Nanjiani. He's in all kinds of shows. He's headlining. He's on all the shows. He's a Pakistani American, born in Karachi. We have people in business, in politics. Mayor Muhammad Ali Chaudhry was just here. He's from Lahore, born in Lahore. 6 weeks after 9/11, he was elected mayor of a town in New Jersey. He was the first Muslim mayor. We have two Muslim members of Congress. There are 200,000 Pakistanis living in America, and most of them are thriving. I think it's this weird fiction that somehow it's hard. In terms of encouraging you to go to America to study, we have some of the greatest educational institutions in the world, and I don't say that immodestly. And look, I was educated in the UK, and the US. There is tremendous amount of academic freedom. There's a tremendous ability for growth, and people who have US degrees get great jobs. I mean, it's a real way to secure your future and to explore academically. And some of the best faculty members, people flock to the United States. 70% of all research papers in scientific fields are written in the United States or published in the United States.
One last question from the middle wingers.
Mohammad Hassan from BB Honors. My question is that you said that you and all the officials which are working in Pakistan have a very good impression about Pakistan, but your media continually criticize of our army and our nation. Besides this, we are sacrificing for your war and we are fighting for your personal concerns. But in spite of this, your media is raising a negative effect about Pakistan.
No, I think that's absolutely accurate. No one disputes Pakistan's sacrifices over the last 10 years. Nobody. I think Pakistan has been very heavily affected and has made a tremendous sacrifice. But it's a shared conflict, and it's something that is in the interests of both the United States and Afghanistan to secure peace and stability in the region. In terms of our media, I think media is the same worldwide, whether you're in London, Karachi, or New York. What's going to sell? Something negative. I mean, we hosted a conference, the United States consulates in Karachi and Lahore hosted a social media conference in Karachi. 200 people came, tremendously positive, all kinds of good stuff happened. Do you think the New York Times covered that? No, they did not. Do you think they're ever going to do a story about the 50 kids who are eager to go study in the United States that I spoke to yesterday? They never will. It's just what is going to sell. It's the kind of, news is a mediated reality. It is not reality. And it's, as journalists, you're sort of creating this narrative, this product. It's almost a form of entertainment, I would say. It's information, but it's also entertainment. This is why I would encourage you, social media, blogging, get a variety of voices. I mean, what's happening now in the last 3 years in Pakistan when it comes to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google+, you name it, are the means of production. Media organizations push you up to big institutions. Social media makes everything horizontal, where I have just as much a voice as any of you. We're all on an equal footing. I don't have I'm part of a big institution, the State Department, the U.S. government, but, and here I have the podium, and think of this as a metaphor for it, but imagine if you all had microphones and we all had podiums. I mean, that's kind of what social media does, and I encourage you to express yourself. I mean, blogging, whatever it is, find out the truth for yourself, do the research for yourself, don't just accept what you see in the papers, whether it's the New York Times or The Nation or Now We Walked, as fact. I mean, you can read 7 different stories about the same thing in 7 different newspapers here in Pakistan. And you can do that in America too. I mean, where's the truth? Where is the actual truth of it? And I think it's somewhere in between. You need to become intelligent consumers of media and say, given all consider the source with information. As a diplomat, I gather information and I write reports and send them back to Washington. And some of them are very anodyne. Some of them are very sort of innocent. Hey, I went and spoke to a university. I won't write this one up, obviously, but sometimes that's what you need to do. But really, I would encourage you to think, yes, negative stories do come about Pakistan. And I regret it too, because I constantly say these things to my family and my friends. But just be smart about it. And be a smart consumer of media and find the truth for yourself.
Very last question from this side.
Myself, Mohammed Jazid, U.S from U.S. The question is, you said Obama came in Pakistan when he was young, so and he pronounced correctly Pakistan. Is it? Do you think is it all for building relationship between Pakistan and America?
No, I use those as examples. Those are easily identifiable examples. It's how can you? He's familiar with Pakistan in a way that no previous president is. His mother worked in Gujranwala for 5 years at the Asian Development Bank. When he wanted to call his mom, he was calling Pakistan. And I'm just, most Americans, our previous president hadn't traveled beyond Mexico and Canada. And as a professional diplomat, as someone who's been to 45 countries, I find that it really helps if you've traveled to other cultures and lived in other cultures to understand them or to communicate effectively with them. And so my point with that is, saying Pakistan versus Pakistan, that doesn't make a better statesman, but I think having a deeper understanding and relations, again, it's people-to-people relations with those countries. Diplomacy is built, foreign relations are built on personal relations and go from there. And I think he has those relations, and I think he's been a huge advocate in terms of getting this funding, getting this support, getting this cooperation with Pakistan. That's my only point. I just think it gets lost in the coverage that gets portrayed here in Pakistan. But can we just do her, because we haven't heard from almost any women, so please.
Well, my name is Vijaya Ali from Mass Communication Department. Very diplomatically and very intelligently you have gathering us. We have gathered here. I just want to ask, and I just want to contribute my words
Sure.
on the behalf of students, that you have everything in your US, right? I mean, academically, you have many resources for students. Why don't you just stop giving us aid and reconstruct the educational systems here in Pakistan?
Well, if you take a look, it's a great question. Thank you. And if you take a look at the way that our aid has been structured, I have a graph of U.S. aid to Pakistan over time. And the Kerry-Lugar-Berman bill, the real watershed was it shifted most of the aid to civilian aid away from military aid. And
So you said that PAK and US relationship is based on very, very personal relationships.
I said all
So
diplomacy
you need
thrives
to-
on
you
good
need to
personal
take care of
relationships.
students rather than
No, and I agree
rather
with
than
you.
the big elites. You know?
I agree with you. My father was a college professor, and I'm the product of international exchange. You know, he met my mother while he was on a student exchange in Scotland, and then devoted his life to, he was a dean of international programs for 30 years. So I am completely with you when it comes to developing students and higher education. I studied overseas myself, and actually was just talking in the office about trying to figure out some way to get a partnership with a U.S. institution just prior to coming here. We were talking about a possibility of exchange, getting American students here. I mean, how many of you have met an American before me? Anybody? Okay, not many. Like, we're not a lot of us here. I think part of it is just making those personal connections. Get some Americans here, get some Pakistanis there, find some exchange. But I agree with you. Putting more resources into higher education and even more basic education. We do a program called Access English Program, where we teach English to 5,000 students throughout the country. And these are kids who would never get access to English. And why do we do it? Because it's an economic engine. If you speak English, no matter where you are in the world, you can have, it's a language of opportunity. You'll have a better job, you have more chances to study, you have more chances to travel. And that goes for whatever class you are, whether you're a cook, a driver, or a research scientist. You know, that ability to speak English is going to catapult you into another level of economic achievement and possible study and possible, you know, the greatest investment, my dad used to say, the greatest investment you can make is education, because it's something that can never be taken away from you. All material possessions, those come and those go, but your education, what you have in your experience, and if your education is travel, even better, those are things you have throughout your life, and those are the resources you have by which to survive your entire life. But anyway, I look forward to speaking to you more. I hope that we can get more people here to talk to you, and thank you for being such a respectful and polite audience.